What happens when a family property dispute explodes in court? In today's hearing from the 67th District Court in Flushing, Michigan, two attorneys go head-to-head over a house tied to emotional family history, and Judge David Goggins is caught in the middle. Things get heated fast.
Right, let's go back. Off of there. Back on the record with Tammy O'Boyle versus Nicholas Blair.
Just one moment, Your Honor. Nicholas Blair needs to check in to work and let them know what is happening. If you could afford us 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. We'll take a brief recess for 5 minutes. Mr. Brown, I'll be right back on.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here.
I apologize for the delay, Your Honor. We are back.
Nick, the judge took a tell Nick the judge took a short break, Jordan, and the amount of the rent that's owing is $5,847.64. Tammy will give you 10 days to get a mortgage. And if you don't get the mortgage in 10 days, 11th day, the notice to evict moves out and the judgment enters. I don't know how else to do this with you. And I have no idea what you meant by kicking the can down the road to say that this is a waste of judicial resources. This was an attempt to get you to get a mortgage to pay for the house, which you've not done, which you've been promising multiple times to do, and you haven't done it. So I don't know what else Tammy could do to address your issues, Jordan. So I'll tell you that off the record before we get back on with the judge. If you want to enter into a consent judgment, fine. If not, then we'll proceed.
10 is not enough time, and you know that. If you give me,
you've had months, Jordan.
If you give me 21 days, I can do it in 21 days, but I can't do it in 10.
No, you got 10 days, Jordan. You've already had 5 months. So
I had 5 months to get a mortgage, and the mortgage didn't work. Tammy wants the money, so she can have the money.
And you haven't paid the rent either, Jordan.
Okay,
so,
you know, let's just do this on the record, Jose. I can't deal with you right now.
Okay, we can go back on the record if we get everybody here. Tammy O'Boyle versus Nicholas Blair. Get everybody?
Yes, we're here, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we start from the beginning, I guess, Mr. Brown. With everything I've heard, I guess we just need some testimony from both sides. Do you have your witness? Do you want to
Yes,
proceed today?
I do have my witness, Your Honor. She's ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did extend an offer to Mr. Barkey when we were off the record, when the court took an
Okay.
adjournment to try to work this out, but apparently that's not going to work.
We gave him a counter offer. We did not deny. He offered me
Okay.
10 days to get a mortgage, which Jose knows is not enough time to secure a mortgage. So I countered with, could you give me 21 days? And Jose declined because he wants, I don't know why, but 21 days and I can get them the money for the home and whatever and what's outstanding, as long as I have a set amount. I don't think we need to take testimony today, but if that's Jose's wish, then we can.
Your Honor, I don't want to bother the court's time either, and I do know how hard you work, because we've witnessed it here on the Zoom meeting, so I appreciate that. I am not willing to extend 21 days to Mr. Barkey. This has been ongoing since December. He's known about it. He's had the option to get a mortgage or to get the house paid off, and again, Your Honor, they've not even paid the rent while they were there. And Ms. O'Boyle has provided them with the spreadsheets to do that. And Mr. Barkey has those. Those are in the court file. There's nothing hidden here in terms of what is owed by rent. So if the court wishes, I will be happy to swear Ms. O'Boyle. I don't want to kick the can down the road. Mr. Barkey gets a mortgage, then this is all over with in 10 days. If he doesn't, then we want a notice to evict on the 11th day to get him out of the house. If there's any damage to the house that's done between now and the 11th day, there will be another lawsuit, Your Honor, for damages, because this isn't right. What they're trying to pull. I mean, I'm not making a closing argument, Your Honor, but this has been ongoing promises after promises by Mr. Barkey and by Nicholas.
Attacks. Can we please stop them?
Okay, let's just, guys, yeah, let's just proceed then and we'll see where we're
All right,
at.
thank you, Your Honor. I would ask that Ms. O'Boyle be sworn.
Okay, Ms. O'Boyle, why don't you raise your right hand there for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, do.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brown, you can proceed for me.
Ms. O'Boyle, you are the accountant and the gatekeeper in the Excel spreadsheet for the property at 3338 Southgate in Flint, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you've been the accountant for checking the rentals, the utilities, the taxes, the homeowner's insurance, everything for a number of years, correct?
Correct.
Now, could you tell the court, please, that home was was purchased by your mom on behalf of your sister, but there was a trust that the home was placed into. When your sister passed away, the home went to you, as I understand it, correctly?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
All right. Could you explain that to the judge, how you entered into this rental agreement then with Nicholas Blair?
Okay. So in December of 23, we agreed with Nicholas that the rent would be, I believe, $600 a month plus consumers and the Xfinity, Comcast, whatever. So he wasn't able to make those payments, asked us if we would reduce it. We reduced it to $400 a month and, plus, of course, the consumers and what have you. And he paid, not timely, but he was paying intermittently. He'd missed a few payments. We gave him a month off for his birthday. We've tried everything. My mom had homeowners insurance. She paid all of the taxes. She paid all of the repairs on the house. And when she passed away, It was my understanding that once she passed, because my sister passed before her, that the house would go to me. And I told Mr. Barkey and Nicholas that in November, I told them that I would put together the numbers, and that I would honor my mom's agreement that they purchased the house for what my mom paid for it, plus her cost. And then I agreed to take off all of the payments that Nikki made so that it was more affordable, and that they could buy the house from me at a reduced rate so that they could fix it up and sell it and get the profit from it. Like, I did not, I mean, I wanted more than anything to let them buy the house from me. I did not want to go through all of this. I did not ask for a probate hearing. I've been open and honest with Mr. Barkey. He's the one that has not been truthful. My mom's agreement with Nicholas Blair was the fact that she was going to allow him to live there after my sister passed, that they promised to fix up the house so that my mom could sell it so that she could give them the profit. They didn't do that. They have not. Matter of fact, when my appraiser went in to give me a date of death appraisal for my mom's taxes, there's holes in the walls. All of the interior doors have to be replaced because they've been destroyed. There is holes in the basement. There's some black plastic covering something up in the basement. There's, there's an unlicensed vehicle in the driveway, which I can get the ticket for from the township of Flint because of it not being a licensed vehicle. And, I never told Nick I would kill his dog. Mr. Barkey and I have text messages, went back and forth with me about the appraisal, in the fact that that I wasn't allowed to go in the house, and I wasn't allowed to bring an appraiser, and I wasn't allowed to do this because Nick's got a dangerous dog. And then a few texts later, well, why would you think Nick's dog is dangerous? And I'm like, I didn't. You told me that. And I told him, I said, if he bites or if he's aggressive, I will call animal control. Nick has a agreement that he signed August 1st of 2017 with my mom that states he will have no dogs in the house. He's not to have any junk or unlicensed vehicles left in the driveway, on the yard, or in the premises. So, I have been more than fair. I feel I've been more than fair with these two. I have been dragged through the mud. I have been slandered online. I have been slandered by Mr. Barkey. I've been called a liar, and I have done none of that. I have been completely honest. All I want to do is to sell the home. I don't care. I gave him the right of first refusal, and he has not done a thing about it. I sent text messages with all of this information on December 1st. I again sent a handwritten letter to Nicholas on January 1st, giving him till January 31st to purchase the house. And then in between that time, I got served with the probate paperwork. So, I don't know what more I can do, how much nicer I can be. Their sense of entitlement is just sickening.
Okay, Mr. Boyle. I just want to wrap this up for the judge. Okay, Thank you for getting it off your chest. But the amount owing that we're asking the court for today is $5,847. Correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And that is that's different than what was pled in the complaint, and that's because of new rent that has been paid and new consumers and new cable. Correct?
Right. Well, the cable Nicholas put in his name. Okay, but he had owed me for February, but yes, it includes all that.
Yeah. The rent and the consumers, and that's all in the spreadsheet. And I think the balance owed as of today is $5,847.64.
Correct.
And you're asking the court for a money judgment in that amount.
Correct.
Okay. You're also asking Judge Goggins for an eviction. Okay, you're willing to give them 10 days.
Yes, sir.
Correct, on the eviction, and then on day 11, which would be April the 12th, the sheriff will be there to remove them from the premises.
Correct.
Is that what you want?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, that I think that concludes the testimony that I have for her. If Mr. Barkey has any questions, that's fine.
Okay,
I do.
Mr. Barkey? Okay, sure. This is just questions for her right now.
I
So,
understand.
Okay.
Tammy, the amount in question that you claim is owed is what again?
$5,847.64.
Okay, I must have misheard you. How much was the house purchased for?
The house was purchased for, hold on one second, and I will pull up the text messages that I had sent to you, and I will read it back in the day.
Well, I'm not asking about the text messages. I'm asking about the MLS. How much
Well,
was the house?
I'm sorry, but that has the amount of money in it. So just
I'm
hold
sorry,
a
Ms.
moment, please.
Boyle. Can I please finish my question? I'm asking for the amount in the MLS, how much the house was sold for. Do you know it or not?
The house was, my mom purchased the house for $78,540.12.
Okay. And this agreement on August 1st, 2017 that allegedly took place, do you have a copy of that? Okay. Have you ever produced a copy of that to me?
Never was asked, and Nicholas should have a copy because he was given a copy.
Okay. So the answer is no, you never produced a copy of that to me. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, you've said vociferously that all you want to do is sell the house, correct?
Correct.
That's what Nana wanted, right?
No.
To your knowledge, Nana wanted Nikki to be able to purchase that house from her so that she was recouped her costs and then the house would belong to Nikki. That's what
Your Honor,
she wanted, isn't it?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to relevance. This has nothing to do with the case. Nothing.
Hey, Mr. Barkey, what is the relevancy of the, I guess the house purchase, first of all, what's relevancy of all that?
The
I think all we
relevancy
got in front of me.
is that
Go ahead.
this number that they gave me is changing. I'm getting, in fact, that what Nana wanted, what my grandmother wanted, was for Nicholas to be able to purchase this house. Nicholas has tried to purchase this house.
Your Honor, this is irrelevant. This is
May I continue with my explanation?
No, hold on. The only thing I have before me is a piece of property that's being rented right now. All these other things are extraneous to what I have in front of me. What I have in front of me is that there was a rental agreement. If there was an amount either owed or not owed, and whether it's been paid. Those are the points. I've kind of let things go on, but you got to stick to those facts. Okay.
So just to clarify, the issue of whether or not this house is sold to Nick pursuant to our prior agreement, that's not before this court?
I've got before me right now is a rental agreement. Is that right, Mr. Brown? That's all I've got.
That's correct. You have a complaint for landlord tenant, Your Honor, and we made an offer, and we're entitled to a judgment based upon the landlord tenant complaint that's been filed in the amount and also an order of eviction. And that's what we were asking for.
Your Honor, I sat through many an ad hominem attack from both Tammy and Jose, and now I feel I am being stymied with the things that I can say.
Well,
so
I'm going to keep it to
the
landlord tenant matter. That's it. Okay. For everybody's sake.
My major point now is that 11 days will not make that much of a difference. That's all I'm asking for so that we can effectuate the sale of the home. 11 days. Just give me a date and give me a solid number that will not change. If we can do that on the record today, I can purchase.
Sir, we're way off. We're off. I'm still at the point with questions for this witness. I'm going to take control of this thing quickly because we got to stay in task with what I have. So these are questions for Ms. Boyle right now.
Okay. Ms. O'Boyle, you did not when you texted me in December, or sorry, when you sent Nick that letter in January saying that you intended to sell the home from him or sell the home, was that not you telling him you wanted to evict Nick?
No, because I asked him if he would purchase the home. And if he wasn't going to purchase it, to please move out so that I could get it.
Despite the
ready
fact that
for
we
sale.
agreed the month before to the sale of the home.
You guys have been offered the home since
Okay.
December 1st. I am not going any, you've had since December 1st. You guys have failed to repay rent. I am paying all of the consumer for that house. I'm paying insurance. I've paid the taxes. I paid the sewer and water. So
And where is it
need to know
indicating that
May she
that
finish her answer, Your Honor? If you
it's
want to
going far afield from my question?
well,
She's going.
your
she's-
question's
she's
irrelevant.
continuing to
Your Honor,
talk.
I object to the question being irrelevant to the issue that's here.
Your Honor, I
please.
didn't interrupt Mr. Brown. Can I please
He's got a
go
right
with
to-
interruption?
He can object. Go ahead and
Okay.
ask your question and we'll see where we're at. Go ahead, just
In that-
ask this.
In that case, may I ask for a point of order? If he is going to object pursuant to the court rules, which is form and foundation. No speaking objections.
Speaking.
Can
of-
I get that,
Sir-
please?
Sir, ask your question. I'm going to take control of it now. Just ask your question and we'll move on from there. Okay, ask your question of her and both are, I'm going to, quite frankly, take full control of this. Go ahead and ask your question.
Tammy, you testified before that that there was a probate action, correct? And you told in January, you
got two questions there, counsel. You got to ask it in two separate questions, one at a time.
Let me shorten this up. Tammy, you never provided the trust documents to me, did you?
I did not.
In fact, it took, you refused to produce any evidence whatsoever that I or Nicholas were not an inheritor of that house.
Object to
How is this relevant, Mr. Barkey?
This is relevant to why I filed the probate action, which is
This has
something that
nothing to do with probate. Ms. Barkey,
she
this has
already-
nothing to do with this.
she
I'm
brought it
sticking to
into
the
evidence. She
landlord-tenant.
opened the door.
No, landlord-tenant matter. That's where I've got. Landlord-tenant matter. That's it.
I have no more questions for her.
Mr. Brown, any redirect?
No, Your Honor, other than one question. Ms. O'Boyle, you submitted these rent payments schedule to the court along with the complaint in this particular case, did you not?
I believe that is correct, but
I'm gonna say I don't have them here. I don't have any.
I don't see that they were filed with
Okay.
a complaint.
Did you supply these rental payments schedule to Mr. Barkey and to Nicholas?
Yes, they were given it to Jordan through his probate attorney, and I believe we emailed him a copy as well.
That's okay. And we have proof of service that it was sent to the probate attorney, so he has received notice of this for months.
Oh,
but-
objection.
may-
That was a different matter. Objection. You can't assume that I had notice of it because that was a different matter. That was the probate matter. Just like this is the landlord-tenant matter,
You're-
and that's the landlord-tenant issue, this was a probate matter. So you
Is
can't
it
assume
regarding-
that I got that. I
Is it
never
right
got
to-
those
hold on.
documents.
That is not
Well,
true.
hold on. If the question is regarding a probate matter, if it's not related to the landlord-tenant case, I'm not gonna hear it.
All right, fair enough, Your Honor. The Excel spreadsheet that was provided to Mr. Barkey has a total on it due and owing today of $5,847.64, correct?
Correct. Well, yeah, that's an updated one. I'm sorry. The one that the 5,800 is an updated one, which includes rent for April as well.
Okay.
But it does not include the consumers because I do not have that information yet.
All right, so you're asking the court today for that judgment, that money judgment. And
Yes,
you're
sir.
asking for an eviction on the 11th day
Yes,
from today of April the 12th.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Your Honor.
ma'am, I've got a couple, hold on, I've got a couple questions for Ms. Boyle, or Boyle. I've
Yes.
got, is the property that we're concerned with here, is it 3338 Southgate Drive, Flint, Michigan?
Yes, sir.
Is that the right property?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there a written lease agreement?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there rent being paid on a monthly basis?
Yes, there was.
Okay, and as you testified, I guess over the last, we'll say year, was it $400 per month?
Correct.
Okay. And which
It was,
months are old rent for $400? Which ones? Just give me a,
oh geez, on this spreadsheet, let me pull it up real quick. Let's see, just for the past year.
whatever, this 5,847, which months?
Okay,
out
so
of that
he
are-
owes for January, February, March, and April of 2023.
Oh, I'm sorry, huh? January, February,
owes
when?
January,
Hold on.
January through April of 2023. And I can give you the amount of the consumer's bills if you would like.
Sure. If you could do, let's keep it organized for me though, for that 2023
You know,
period then.
Would it be easier? Am I able to share a screen
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
you?
wanna share it with you? Sure.
Okay.
I
yeah.
haven't seen any of these documents, Your Honor.
Jordan,
Okay, we're gonna see him right now, I
Email to
guess.
you. I have an email to you dated March 25th. Anyways, 1 second, and I will pull up the accounting and share my screen. All right. Are you able to see that?
I can't see anything yet.
I can't see anything either.
There
How's
you
that?
go. It's coming up now. There it is.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, Mr. Barkey,
So-
can you see that as well? I just want to make sure
I
everybody's
can,
on.
but I don't know when this document was created, nor do
Okay,
I know
well-
its veracity.
Okay, all right, we'll get to that. Just if you can see the documents, the big thing. So Boyle, what document is this? Where's this from?
Okay,
Trying to
this
keep
is a
track.
document I prepared after my mom passed away. When I told them I would sell them the house for my mom's costs and minus Nicholas's rent payments. So I had to figure out how much his rent payments he did. So I went through and I pulled everything out, and this is what I came up with. So we have 2024. You can see, you can look at the dates. Sometimes he wasn't paying on time. This is all, I have all of this in, from my mom. And so as of
Okay,
April
so
1st,
I'm sorry. So these are not, when you say from your mom, how did the data get put in? Where'd the data come from?
I took it from a bank statement. My mom and I had a separate account that we shared that these payments would get put into.
Okay.
And that's where this information came from.
Okay, so let's go get to the information that you know directly. But where does that start?
It
That might
starts
be
in
easier.
2023 because I'm the one that took care of all of this for my mom. I took care of all of the rental for my mom, but my mom passed away October 29th of 2024.
Okay, so from October 29th, 2024 onward, that's when you kind of took over the whole.
That's
I
when,
guess business
that's when I was
aspect.
tasked with this house, yes.
Okay, okay. Okay. So from that time, let's see, October 29th, where are we at here? October
So you'd
1st.
be, you would be November 1st.
Okay, so let's just start at November 1st, 2024. That's when you officially received your first payment that was owed?
Correct,
Is that right?
correct.
And
Yes.
that was it shows $400. And then,
Yeah,
I'm
he
sorry,
did. Oh, I'm
go ahead.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
So November, I received no payment. December came around, I got a $614 payment on 12/8.
Okay.
Which is not, I mean, and then January rolled around, I got no payment. He did pay on 1/15, $614.
You'll get to go through all this.
This is the consumers of 205. And then on 1/22, he made a payment, but he has not made a payment. He hasn't made February, March payments or April.
February, March, April of this year you're talking about.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And if you keep scrolling down, the sewer and garbage for 3338, and these are where I got my numbers for the purchase price of the house. 126 was due on March 1st for the sewer and water. I'm sorry. I paid the one, I also paid the 12/1/24 of $116. I paid that as well. Homeowners insurance, I've paid 4 payments of 120. Well, the fourth payment will come out on April 8th. There were no additional home repairs. Property taxes, I paid the winter taxes of $1,100.37. And I also paid for the appraisal to be done at the house, but that was at my cost because I needed that for my mom's taxes.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
The appraisal that I had an appraisal done, but that was
okay.
Yeah. But that was done at that's not
Okay.
part of this. That's separate.
But the agreement between you and Nicholas is that he was paying rent plus utilities. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so some of the stuff, the insurance, those are all things that you would have incurred. Homeowners insurance.
Yeah, because I just left it as it was when my mom had.
Yeah,
how
sure,
my mom had
sure. I
it.
just want to make sure what I'm dealing with though. So,
Yes.
so we've got rent plus utilities.
Correct.
And rent is $400 per month. So you totaled up the rent owing plus utilities comes up to $5,847.64. Correct?
Yes, that goes back to
That's-
2023.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we claim, and this is, how are you claiming from 2023 to present if you don't have a lease agreement and it's month to month? How do you end up saying, hey, this is worth it to me? You let him stay there, correct?
Correct.
And you're kind of waiving some of that if he was paying periodically, as long as he was paying something, correct?
Well, he knew he was supposed to pay rent on the 1st and pay his consumers in bill. And at one time I had the cable in my name. And he was paying, was to pay that as well.
Did you ever send him a letter saying, hey, listen, you're behind this much money, you got to pay it?
I have text messages about being late for rent, but I don't believe I sent Jordan a copy of the spreadsheet and in March.
Okay. So nonetheless, regardless of what I do today, you're telling me that February, March, and April payments this year were not paid
Correct.
for rent.
Correct.
Okay. And that's $400 per month for that time period. And you were upfront with not knowing what utilities are for April. You haven't gotten anything for
Correct.
April.
I have not gotten that information yet. No.
Okay. Okay. No lease agreement in writing. And you said, you alluded to the fact, and I don't want to get too far stream here, but for Mr. Barkey's sake as well, you said you granted a right of first refusal on the property. Where did
Correct.
that come from? Do you have something in writing?
I do not. I gave,
This is just
According
something
to-
off the cuff you said.
it was just, I gave him the first right to purchase the property. I
But
wanted-
is there anything in writing?
As far as purchasing the property,
Yeah.
December 1st. December 1st, I gave him the offer
In writing?
in writing by text message to both him
By
and
well,
Jordan.
Okay, by text. Okay. All right. Official
And
where
again-
you signed it and where he signed it? Electronic signatures anywhere?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. So, for both your sakes, Mr. Brown, any questions regarding what I asked?
No, Your Honor, I don't have
Okay.
any further questions. I don't want to belabor this anymore.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Barkey, any questions with regard to what I asked?
I do, Your Honor, and it's very brief.
Okay.
This agreement, this alleged agreement from 2017, does that say anything about paying insurance, homeowners insurance?
To pay for all utilities, services furnished to the property, cost of all repairs and any damage done to said premises, and the cost of cleaning up said premises, which owner may consider necessary. Won't sublet. To give 30 days written notice to vacate. Notice to the owner to vacate. But no, there's nothing in there about the insurance.
Okay. Same question about the taxes. Is there anything in there about taxes? Nick having to pay them?
So this is an agreement that Grandma had with your mom and Nicholas. That was not my agreement, but yes, there's nothing in there about taxes.
Okay. And you mentioned something about 30 days. He has 30 days to leave the house if you choose to evict him. Is that right?
No, you
What was that 30
misinterpreted
days?
that. Number 7 says to give 30 days written notice to owner prior to vacating. It says nothing
Okay.
about eviction.
Okay. Thank you. I misheard that. I have no more questions.
Okay. Good. Mr. Brown, any other witnesses? Is that it?
Well, Your Honor, that's it.
Okay.
The other witnesses to this agreement are deceased, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Barkey, any witnesses?
I do, Your Honor. I'd like to talk to Mr. Nicholas Blair.
Okay.
There you go. Can you hold this, please?
Sir, why don't you raise your right hand for me? Get your hand raised. I can't see it there, but okay. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And first of all, I guess for my sake, why don't you just state and spell your first and last name for me?
Nicholas Blair, and you said spell it? NICHOLASBLAIR.
Okay. And you can go ahead, Mr. Barkey.
Nick, did you pay rent on the 3338 Southgate home?
Yes.
Did you pay rent for every month except for February and March of this year?
Yes.
Did you pay it through either Venmo or the Sovita account that Tammy and our grandmother shared?
Yes.
There were some delays in you paying rent at times, correct?
Yes.
Did you always get permission from Tammy to pay rent late or let her know if rent would be paid late?
I was never given a set time on rent. There was never, you have to have a rent in by this day. There was never like a set agreement on rent. So I just kind of paid it when I could.
Okay, but you paid rent when you could, right?
Yes.
And I know there was some testimony before about a time that you lost one of your jobs and they reduced rent from 600 to 400, or was that when Leslie died?
That was before Leslie died.
Okay. So rent, in either event, rent was reduced from 400 to 600, correct?
Yes.
At times, did you pay less than $400 in rent?
No.
You've never paid less than $400 in rent?
Not that I can recall, no.
Anytime that you would have paid less than $400 in rent, would you have told Tammy, hey, I can't pay full rent this month?
Of course.
And would she tell you that that's okay?
A lot of the times, yes.
Would she ever tell you that you're going to owe this money back later?
Yes.
Okay. And did you pay that?
It was assumed that I would owe the money back later.
Okay. You assumed that you would owe that money back later.
Yes.
But she did not explicitly say you have to pay this money back later.
No.
Did you ever get anything in writing showing or she was owed?
Not that I, no.
Okay. Were you present at that dinner whereby we agreed to purchase the house from Nana?
Yes.
And after that dinner, Tammy reaffirmed that promise. True?
You know, again,
And she
objection,
reaffirmed
Your
it
Honor,
in
to
writing.
relevance.
True?
Objection to relevance.
Sure. Yep. How's that relevant, Mr. Barkey?
Fair. I'll move on.
Okay.
You saw the spreadsheet as Tammy had it up on their screen, correct?
Yes.
And do you dispute that spreadsheet?
Of
Do you think
course.
it's wrong?
I do not owe that much money.
You do not owe $5,800
The only
$47?
I have not paid rent for February and for March and for April.
Okay, so February, March, and
Of this
April
year.
of this year, those are the only times that you have not paid rent.
Yes.
That totals about $1,200. Is that true?
That sounds about correct.
Okay, what about consumers? Have you paid consumers?
For February, March, and April, I have not paid consumers. No.
Okay, so you haven't paid that. You haven't paid rent or consumers February, March, or April. Are there any other charges for which you are required to pay regarding this home to Tammy or Nana?
It was just rent consumers.
Just rent and consumers. Has that always been the case?
I had the cable was in at my Aunt Tammy's name. I want to say until January or February. I can't remember which months, but it was either January or February.
And
When I got it switched over into my name.
and that was per her demand, correct?
Yes.
You tried to get a mortgage in, well, never mind. That's too far afield. There was never a lease agreement put in writing for this home, was there?
Not that I can recall.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Mr. Brown, any
Yes,
questions?
I have a few questions, Your Honor. Mr.
Okay.
Blair, you admit that you have not paid rent for February, March, and April, correct?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You admit you've not paid rent or consumers in February, March, or April. As a matter of fact, January, February, March, and April.
That is incorrect. I said February, March, and April, sir.
For consumers, did you pay the March? Did you pay January?
I paid January, yes.
Okay, so you owe February of 205.67, March of $233.96, and April of 241.55.
Correct.
Okay,
I'm sorry, is that correct? I'm sorry, Mr.
I'm sorry.
Blair, is that right? I didn't hear you. Are those
Oh yeah,
accurate?
that was
Okay,
that sounds right.
okay,
And-
okay, okay.
those amounts are on the spreadsheet that Ms. O'Boyle provided for the rental payments, correct?
I mean I don't have the spreadsheet, but I would.
In front of you. Okay. Now, this spreadsheet also kept a running tally of what was owed in terms of outstanding rent, because you indicated that some of the rent was not paid in total. And so there would be a balance forward on the rent, correct?
What do you like? What's the question? I'm sorry, I'm not
Okay,
understanding.
let me just rephrase it. Okay, you consent and you are willing to pay $1,200 in rent that's outstanding for 3 months, and 3 months worth of consumer bills that you've not paid, correct?
Oh, correct. Yes.
Mr. Blair, the rent was reduced initially on this property from $600 to $400, correct?
Correct.
And this has never been increased at all to you since February the 1st of 2023.
Objection, relevance.
You've always paid $400.
Hold on. There was objection. Mr. Brown,
Your Honor,
did you-
it's relevant because Mr. Barkey wants to indicate that there's not a written agreement. So there was a verbal agreement to reduce this rent from $600 to $400.
So ask the question again for me then.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Blair, this rent was reduced from $600 to $400 in March of 2023.
I don't all the time, but yes, it was reduced to $400, $600.
And it's continued to be $400 a month.
Correct.
Thanks, Your Honor. I don't think I have any other questions.
Okay.
Thanks,
I have a few.
Mr. Blair.
Yeah, Mr. Barkey, yeah, any redirect? Yep.
Absolutely. Nick, you are willing to pay this 1,200 plus consumers now that we have confirmed that it is an accurate and agreeable number?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe that's all my questions.
Okay. And I don't have any questions. Any other witnesses, Mr. Barkey?
No other witnesses, although I apologize. I was holding the number, or I was holding the phone. Could you tell me what the number is with the consumers, the 1,200 plus consumers?
$1,881.18.
Okay. Thank you. And that's without April. Correct? Okay.
Then boy,
That
I probably
includes
should put in, but that includes April, February, March, April.
That includes the rent for April.
Right, but not consumers for April.
No, it does not, because we haven't received that yet.
Correct. I just wanted that noted for the record that it's $1,881.18, which will be increased by the amount of money that is owed to consumers for April 2025.
Yes.
So just that included February 1st consumers of 233.96, Jose?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 205.67, 233.96, and then 241.55 are the 3 months that I used for that $681.18. So
I guess with that, either one of you want to give me just final arguments?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be happy to.
Okay.
I believe that the way that the court's ruling and the way the questions have gone, that there should be a judgment now in the amount of $1,881.18. That should be a money judgment. So there is no issue as to the tallies of the rental payments and the utility payments from cable payments from previous years. And I believe that the testimony clearly indicates that that is owed by Mr. Blair, and he's consented to it. In addition, Your Honor, I am not going to dwell on this, but this whole issue about the value of the house, the appraisal on the house, the mortgages on the house, how this was going to be paid. We would like a writ of eviction 10 days from now. And as Mr. Barkey indicated, that we're keeping Nicholas's feet to the fire, that this has been an ongoing issue for months. They have 10 days to get the mortgage. Otherwise, the offer is withdrawn, and we want a writ of eviction for the 11th day, which would be April the 12th, 2025, Your Honor. And in addition, I'll just indicate this for the court. I assume that Mr. Blair or Mr. Barkey will not damage the home any further than it is, because Miss O'Boyle has to do a lot of work to get this house up and sold.
And well, did we lose him? Mr. Barkey?
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, boy.
I have his cell number, Your Honor. I can call him and ask him to call back in, but he was on his phone, I think.
Yeah, he was. I think he probably just got disconnected. It literally just happened, so we got most of it in, but let's get him back on. Let's wait till we get him back on.
I don't have his phone number, Your Honor, just his email. I'm sorry.
I'm sure he'll get back.
You happen to have it?
I can get it. I can give it to you.
Just put it on the record and I'll call him right now. There's
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Sorry.
It's all right.
This is just, all right. All right. Jordan's phone number is 810-429-1516.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 810-429-1511.
I'll try texting, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No, wasn't your fault.
You know.
He's in. Yeah, we got him back here. I got him
Got him
back.
back?
Yeah, he's coming in right now.
Okay. I just sent him the Zoom number, Your Honor. Thanks.
Here, Mr. Barkey, you back?
I apologize, Your Honor. My
That's
phone.
okay. Yeah, that's okay. We got in, Mr. Brown, I think got in just before you got off. He went through his figures and came up. Mr. Brown, why don't you start right at the back,
Yes,
right
I'll
where
be,
your total
I'll be
is.
happy to, Your Honor.
Cheers.
Um,
Okay.
I asked the court before the Zoom cut off for the amount of rent February, March, April of $1,200, and the outstanding consumers for February for this year without April of $681.18 for a total of $1,800.
Doing it again.
There, can somebody say something?
Yes, I just did, Jordan. I'm talking. This is Jose.
I apologize. My phone is cutting in and out. I did.
Could you,
Again, my
Can you hear me?
sincerest apologies.
Mr. Barkey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, I asked the court for the outstanding rent of $1,200 plus consumers of $681.18 for a total of $1,881.18 in terms of a money judgment. I can text this to you also, Jordan. I will additionally request a writ of eviction on the 10th day or the 11th day from today's hearing on April the 12th, 2025. Thank you. That's it, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Barkey? Yeah, he's buffering there.
He said his phone died.
His phone died now? Oh, he's gonna dial back in again. Hold on. We just gotta get it in. We're down to the very last little bit. Hold on. There he is. There's my phone.
We switched phones.
Let's give it a shot. Mr. Barkey, I don't know where you cut out that last time. He was going through his figures.
I
Go
My
ahead.
apologies. I didn't get any of the figures, but honestly, if they could just be put in an email to me, I think that would be sufficient. Unless you want
Well,
to go
I'm going to make
over
it.
them.
I think I got to
I'm going
do
to
it.
make a decision. Yeah, I'm going to make a decision today. So, yeah.
Okay.
Just to briefly recap, Mr. Barkey, due to the technical glitches, I asked the court to enter a judgment in the amount that Mr. Blair has consented to, and that is 3 months worth of rent for $1,200 total for February, March, and April of this year. In addition, the consumers is outstanding of $681.18 for a total money judgment in the amount of $1,881.18. I sent that to you in a text. Also, in addition, I'm asking for a writ of eviction 10 days from now on April the 11th, 2025, in the event that the money judgment isn't paid or a mortgage is not obtained for the purchase of the home, which is outside the terms of this, but the writ of eviction would be on the 11th day. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Barkey?
I just want to make sure I understand the order that he's requesting. He's requesting the 1881.18 to be paid by April 11th, or in the alternative, for the home to be purchased by April 11th.
No, that's not correct. I'm asking for a writ of eviction. If you get a mortgage, fine. If you don't, that would have to be up to Ms. O'Boyle as to whether that's acceptable or not. We want the outstanding judgment, and we want a writ of eviction on the 11th day.
So the writ of eviction would go if the 1881.18 is not paid.
Both. We want both.
So you want the 1881, 18, and for the home to be sold on April 11th?
We want eviction on April 11th. Mr. Barkey, the eviction to occur on April 11th. So that the house can be repaired and put on the market to be sold.
Okay. So you want a writ of eviction to go on April 11th if two conditions are not met. One, 1881-18 is not paid, and the mortgage is not produced.
No, it's clear. What we want is the 1881 money judgment today. Okay. We also want a writ of eviction to be entered so he can be removed from Mr. Blair, and who is ever in the premises can be removed on April the 11th, 25. Both.
Okay. If we pay the 1881-18, I don't understand how the eviction can lie, but
I'm not going to negotiate, Mr.
Guys,
Barkey.
I was gonna say we're past all this. I'm just
Right.
asking for final argument for Mr. Barkey, and I'll make some decisions. Whether
Okay.
either one of you like it or not, I'm gonna make a decision. So, Mr.
I would-
Barkey, and then you go ahead.
I would consent to the writ of eviction going in 21 days, or as of April 30th. We'll pay the 1881-18 today. As soon as I get off the phone, I'll Venmo it to Tammy, or however she wants to receive it. We'll get it to Tammy. I'm just trying to purchase the home. It's just that 10 days is not enough time to get a home equity line of credit. It's just not. That's setting me up for an impossible standard, setting us up for an impossible standard. A home equity line of credit, it takes a couple of days. I think I would be pushing it, even asking for 21, but I think 21 is reasonable given the circumstances, and given that today there will be no more outstanding rent owed.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna get off for just a second. I'll make a decision. I'll come right back on. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Okay, I've had a chance to review my notes regarding testimony in this matter. Do you find that there is rent owing for February, March, and April? I find, first of all, that this is rental agreement between parties, but no written agreement. Therefore, it's a month-to-month rental agreement. It was being paid this over a course of a reasonable time period, $400 per month. Find that February, March, and April this year have not been paid. That totals $1,200. It was part of the agreement was that utilities were to be paid as well. I find there's been no dispute with regard to up to today's date, how much is owed. Now, it doesn't include April, but up to today, utilities of $681.18. Or court costs of $83 for a total judgment of $1,964.18. That is, it's going to be noted as due, but this is a possession only judgment. Money judgment was not paid for. Therefore, this is allow a writ of eviction after April 11th. This also will state that acceptance of any partial payments for the total amount owed will not prevent the court from issuing a writ of eviction after the April 11th date. Okay, So the judgment's going to show $1,964.18 owed, but it's not a money judgment. It's just possession only, based upon the fact that the money judgment was not paid for. Okay, so I'll send out a copy of that judgment to both parties, and that concludes this matter.
Thank
Your Honor,
you.
may I ask some clarifying questions? Not on the record, just
Yeah,
of,
well,
of this.
No, I want it on the record, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna go. What's the question, and whether I can answer or not, I'll tell you. Go
Do I
ahead.
have to pay the do we have to pay the $1,964.18?
Okay, I can't give you legal advice, so the only thing I can tell you, the judgment's gonna show $1,964.18. It's possession only. You didn't pay for money judgment, so that's the amount, but the move out, I will allow a writ of eviction after April 11th, 2025. Okay, it's not contingent on money being paid, just that's the date that I'll begin to allow a writ of eviction, okay? And I'm going to follow the typical landlord-tenant rules and the statutes that apply to that, okay? So bottom line is a writ can be asked for after April 11th. Okay? Good luck to everybody.
Thank you, Your
Thank you.
Honor.
All right. Bye now.